Good afternoon, everyone. It is Evan from the Trade Risk, Monday, April 20th, and I'm here with some trade ideas for the week. We're going to briefly look at the S&P 500 to see where we're at, but then we're going to move on to some actionable, both long and short ideas for the rest of the video. So now we can see here today that the bulls are continuing to embrace the essence of the V-shaped rally. Given how we closed last week, we snapped below 209. We closed, off the lows, but still a pretty ugly looking bar here. But as it would happen, we came in this week, we capped above all of Friday's action, and we proceeded to fill the gap and reclaim this 209 level of interest. So, we're back in between this compressed 209 to 211 range, and we basically now need to see, can the bulls maintain it? Can they continue off this action? Do we follow through to the upside? Do we give it back? So, it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. Essentially, what this did for me, the way I look at it, is not a tremendous amount changed here. I certainly was more pessimistic, going out, closing the week like we did on Friday. But today, sort of nullified that and put me back into just a straight neutral, flip a coin sort of mindset here until, at least this immediate range breaks again, either 209 on the downside or 211 on the upside. Anything can happen. The volatility is there, and I think we're free to trade sort of back and forth, especially given the fact that we are in the midst of earnings season. So I am really light here. I only actually have one position on, and we're actually going to talk about it later. But that's about it, and I'm just a very neutral stance right now, trying to keep an open mind, and we're going to see if we get some more opportunity later on this week. And that's why we're doing this video, is to look at some trade ideas. Let's jump right into them. First is VAR, and this one seems to hit my radar every following week, and it just continues to stay very pent up. 95.20 is a clear overhead level that the market is bumping up against, and you can see price is now compressed to a point where we should see a move pretty soon. Again, I didn't look at the earnings on this, so you got to check that, but VAR above today's highs looks like it could get going. ZTS is another one. I've talked about this one in the past. Similar pattern here. 47.30 or so is about the overhead resistance level we've been hitting up against, and we're basically we're getting tighter and tighter up against this level, as you can see by this rising trend line. So 47.30, let's see if ZTS can get through there to give us some upside follow through. Next is CMG. CMG had a pretty nice session today. It is above the 685 level. I mean, this is essentially, think of it like a crayon. This is, relatively the level here. Let's look at a weekly chart. You can see what I'm looking at here. This is essentially where we faded way back here in August of last year. We shot through here temporarily in December, came back down in February, and now we're just basically hovering right up against the 685 level. Look at a daily chart. You can see this is the gap here that is still essentially open. We almost had like basically an island reversal with this little rectangle, this box of trading that we did in the beginning of this year. So let's see if the bulls can continue above basically today's highs to see if we can get into this gap and continue what has been a monster uptrend in CMG. Next is JCI. This one broke this little mini sort of rectangle here. You could see basically $51, just under that, has been a resistance level over the past few weeks. But if you look at a weekly chart, you can see the even bigger level I'm looking at, 51.50. You can see this was a major level back here at the end of 2013. Again, it played a role in the mid 2014, and here we are again, basically challenging this level again. So 51.50 is a big level on a long-term time frame. So let's see if JCI can get through above that later this week. Next is SEAS. I think I've talked about this one as well in the recent past. I had a really nice session today, up over 3%, clearing this $20 and 75-cent level. Let's look at a weekly chart. You can see a nice rounded base that it's essentially put in, and these were basically the highs here back in August and September of 2014. Back to a daily chart, and you can see this is a very large open gap now that we are threatening to start trading into. So essentially, continuation beyond today's highs would get us really close and inside of that gap. So keep SEAS on watch for further upside action. And finally, on the long side, we have Monster. I think a lot of people are watching this one. We had this nice gap up at the end of February. We've gone sideways, really tight. Moving averages have caught up nicely, and today looked like it wanted to get going. Didn't like the close. I probably would have taken it on the long side if I would have just seen it close a little bit better, given the market is such a indecisive point right now. I want to keep setups as tight as possible, so I didn't take this, but above 140, basically above today's highs, this one could get moving. And again, you want to check earnings dates on all of these. And then finally, on the short side, I only have two names, the first of which I am short, which is Lowe's. Lowe's broke down basically below. It's been in a nice uptrend for a very long time, but it kind of went sideways here, stalled out, and it broke below 73, call it 40, 73.50, however you want to draw it. Basically today did not participate in the rally that we had, closed just above, just slightly green on the day. So I am short this, looking for some further follow through to the downside in Lowe's. And finally, on the short side, I have QSR, and this was a name I actually talked about that could potentially be getting ready for an upside breakout back on this bar here, 416. The way we came up here and reversed off of it, I said to keep an eye on that 39.75. Ultimately, we saw some hard continuation to the downside here, and 38.25 is essentially the breakdown level. Let's take a look at this on a weekly chart. You can see it's a recent IPO. These are basically the lows that it's trading against. The only thing with QSR, I think earnings are out really soon on this. I know that's why I didn't pursue this one earlier today. I think they're out either later this week or maybe next week. So that of course will change the landscape here, but if you want to trade into earnings, if you want to trade into tomorrow, if we see some weakness, keep QSR on watch. And that's it. That's what I have for today. A couple of setups, both on the long and short side. I hope they help you navigate this market. Best of luck trading, and thank you for watching.